Hi, I'm Tim here in the music cell with days 9 and 10 of my 20-day vinyl challenge. Sorry, I know th- this isn't either of those days. Uh, Saturday, my allergies were bothering me quite a bit. I only managed to listen to a couple of my albums that day. And then And because of last Monday and Saturday, I got behind in my homework and stuff, so I was busy trying to catch up on that yesterday. So to make up for it today, I listened to 7 albums yesterday, and so I'm going to try getting through them quick today, so I can get working on my get studying today. So let me get going. Work doing that right now. Let me get it a little brighter here so you can see a little better. Okay, first up, Grand Funk Railroad on time. This is a 1980s reissue of their 1969 debut album. See, I got this from my best friend Perry last year. Uh, and see, we were teenagers back in the 70s, and we were both big Grand Funk Railroad fans. We used to do air guitar to Grand Funk music. We'd put on a Grand Funk album and just do air guitar. Well, anyway, and our love for Grand Funk has kept going even to this day. I saw them around 7, 8 years ago, opening for Steppenwolf at a local venue at for an outdoor concert. Well, anyway, this is their debut album, and a couple songs on here that I've heard plenty of times is our Time Machine and Heartbreaker. It's just a good all-out rocking album. It's an excellent debut album for them. Next up is oh yeah, and this should say the Grand Funk one is on Capitol. Next up is a band called Giants. It's a gold label promo. It's on LA Records from 1978. Giants is was pretty much a super group, you could say. That has had several artists on it. Some of the well-known ones that you'll recognize when I say their names: Carlos Santana, Herbie Hancock, Lee Oscar, Neil Schon, Greg Rowley. Okay, those are the main ones here that you'll recognize. Uh, but this is pretty much like a jazz rock album, is how I describe it. It's they get jamming away on stuff on here, and I just enjoyed listening to this album. It's hard to explain it any better than that. There are vocals on here at times, but it's more jamming than anything else. Next up, from 1965 and on mono, it's on Mercury, Freddie and the Dreamers self-titled album. Of course, they're from the UK. This album has a lot of covers on it that I just thoroughly enjoyed. They had the covers of like Money and Kansas City, Early in the Morning, It Doesn't Matter Anymore, Johnny Be Good, I Don't Love You Anymore. It's just one of those albums where you just enjoy listening to all those tunes and everything. Next up, uh, an album that Freddie and the Dreamers had gotten for 10 cents. Uh, Next up, a group called Charlie. I had gotten this one back a long time ago when I got around 500, 600 albums for free I was giving them. I hadn't never heard of them before. I grabbed because I thought it looked interesting. It wasn't a bad album. This was my first time listening to it. It's from 1978 on Janus Records. It's Curtis Linder recently talked about Charlie on one of his videos, and it wasn't bad. They're pretty much a rock band from the late, and like I said, this is from '78. Song on here that I liked was this one called "Watching TV," where they talk about popular TV shows, like a lot of them from at the time, like they talk about like Starsky and Hutch and Charlie's Angels and $6 Million Man. They also talk about Y50 in it, and also Star Trek. And I just like this album. Well, the first two I listened to Saturday. The rest I listened to yesterday. Okay, the rest of these I got in the mail on Saturday from Matt Sands. I didn't purchase them. I knew these were coming for about a month, and he finally got them sent out last week, and I received them Saturday. The first one is I collect all kinds of albums from the '70s, and here's one that to supplement my '80s or my '70s like bubblegum and pop. This is Meet the Brady Bunch. I do have another Brady Bunch album in my collection. This is from '72 on Paramount Records. And this one has a lot of covers on it, but it also has a song "Time to Change" on it. You might remember, if you watch the show, you might remember this song from one time where they were getting ready to. If I remember right, they were going to be competing in a contest and Peter's voice has started changing all of a sudden, so they had to come up with a song where he could still sing in it, and with his voice changing, and that's where they came up with that song. And another song they sang in the show in another episode of the show is "We Can Make the World a Whole Lot Brighter" is on here also. And I just enjoyed it. They do covers a lot of hits from the period. Next one is America Hat Trick. This was from 1973 on Warner Brothers Records. This completes my early America albums all the way through Hideaway, which came out in like '77 or '78. And this is an album with Muskrat Love on it, but there's some songs on here that really rock on it too. It's some of it down here sounds a little harder than what you're used to with America, but I like the sound too. Next up, it's my brother had this, but I never really listened too much of it. I hear tracks here and there at times. I have some studio stuff of theirs, but I never listened to this whole album. That's Little Feat, Waiting for Columbus. It's from 1978 on Warner Brothers. It's a double album live set. I remember when after this was released, if I remember right, it was "Time Loves a Hero" that they play on the radio at times, and along with that, this has or it was either that or "Oh Atlanta" they play on the radio, and along with those, it also has "Dixie Chicken" and "Fat Man in the Bathtub" on here. It's just and "Feet Still Won't Fail Me Now's on here. Just a good Southern rock double album live set. I just enjoy their music, and this is just hearing a live set of their double album live set of their music makes it even better. Next up, Traffic self-titled album. This is their second album. Of course, they didn't really have any hits off this album, but Dave Mason penned some of the album, about half the albums off here, and like Feeling Alright, and also it has Pearly Queen on here, which Dave Mason does on some of his solo albums, which I've heard, and of course you've heard Feeling Alright, where because of Joe Cocker had made that a hit later on. And this is from '68 on United Artists. It's just a good album, but good rock, good rock album. Some of it's more like folk rock. And the last album I have, it's one that I hadn't had in my collection before, and I'm glad to have it. And I'm thanking Matt for all these that he sent me. I'll have more that I'll be listening to today, and I hope to make another video with my listens from today, later today. This is Big Brother and the Holding Company. It's on Cheap Thrills. It's on Columbia, also from 1968. And of course it has a hit, Piece of My Heart, on it. Of course, Janis Joplin was in this group, and like I said, it's from '68. It's just a excellent album from that time period. Good rock album, and it's pretty much it's my first exposure other than that song to the group. Well, that's all I have for you now, so until next time, take it easy and keep on rocking.